Welcome to God Seeker. This is Elizabeth Fulgaro. The current message: why worship? Worship is a strange concept. At least it was to me. Born and raised in the United States of America, without knowing it, my stance was pretty individualistic. Look out for me. Look out for those I love. Make sure we have what we need, and view each person as equal to another, independent, able to self-determine my life, able to make choices about what I believe in, what I want, and how to achieve it. And somehow, these together made it difficult to contemplate worshiping anyone or anything. This did not mean I thought I was equal to God. No, not that ever. But a subconscious gnawing inside that I wasn't going to bow to anyone. And a knowing that from everything I understood about God, and I was learning more every day, worship of Him on an ongoing basis seemed integral to everything else. Part of the intricately woven fabric of life. Part of what enabled life to be woven together in the way God designed it to be. The vision God gave me to serve the military by delivering worship songs to them piqued my interest in worship even more. I needed to understand it better. Beyond a certain type of song, beyond even its application in a church service, as I considered worship, the what, how, and why, several aspects of worshiping stood out. First, worshiping God is integral to relationship with Him. Worshiping God causes encounter in the supernatural sphere because it is natural. By natural, I mean worshiping God is normal. Worshiping God should be a normal outcome of existing within awareness of God. It is a normal offshoot of normal relationship with Him as supreme being. You realize He is God, that He is there, that you did not make yourself, and you did not randomly appear. Neither did the universe. If there is a force so great that this force is the life force and responsible for all things coming into existence, including yourself, wouldn't that make you want to drop to your knees in awe or cover your face in a bowed-down way, confronted with your true smallness and lack of power in the face of this divine almighty force? Wouldn't there be an experience of wonder welling up? And maybe even a little healthy fear? Just becoming cognizant of who God is and what you are not. Not in a way you are scared or self-deprecating, but the rising up of a healthy respect for Him within you. The Bible refers to this as a reverential fear of the Lord. So not to be afraid in a way you are fearful and terrified, but where you realize who this God is, and it takes you aback. You don't want to mess with Him. You need to respect His place in your life, which is beyond even the universe. He designed it, and all its systems, both those you think you understand, and those you may not even be aware of yet, those which are as yet undiscovered and unexplored. And you realize and recognize the reality of more beyond what you've been taught is reality. Some sort of spiritual reality which coexists with the natural reality you have focused on. Except in this spiritual reality, the forces at play are different and beyond what you've been trained to believe are normal, natural. Thus the label supernatural. Supernatural and spiritual, which means invisible. Though as time goes on, and you learn more about how God works, you learn to recognize the evidence of this invisible one and the invisible realm. Over time, you may come to admit that this one you cannot see is more involved in everything you can see than you originally thought. The message written by St. Paul in his letter to the first-century community of Jesus followers at Ephesus begins to make more sense. For your battles, your life difficulties and conflicts with other people are not actually against the other people, but the evil spiritual powers affecting all of us and seeping through us and our wounds to negatively impact one another. God is the only power greater. He is the force of creation. He is the force behind all life and enabling it. He is the force of total goodness, the only one through whom ultimately all evil is defeated, conquered. You realize your dependence on God utterly, completely. This alone drives you to bow down and ask for compassionate mercy and care from Him. But then you also begin to realize you don't even have to ask for His compassion and kindness. It is innate to His makeup and already there for you. He is actually love. Now the wonder in you increases. How is it that this perfect, all-powerful one could, would, and does love and care for you exactly as you are, in your smallness, with all your imperfections, in the midst of billions of other people who He cares for too? Isn't this impossible? For a human being, yes. But this is God. You want to draw close to Him. You increasingly know of your deep need for Him. He created you for relationship with Him. You were created for relationship. You are wired for it. Relationship with God and by Him. You are incomplete without this intimate, ongoing exchange. Something is missing. Your reliance on Him, this dependency by design of which you have realized and now acknowledge, means your awe must find expression somewhere as you seek to draw near to Him. There is respect and smallness and wonder and hope. These are some of the roots of authentic worship of God, of bowing down before Him in honor and respect because He is just so great, and you are beginning to know it. Worship of the one who is worthy of your worship naturally, or your worship of Him is a normal part of connection, not because He demands it or needs it, but because this is how the relationship is and will be. You are part of His creation, His design. He enabled and enables you. He initiated and bestows life. His power is what infuses and makes possible all that comes to pass. Worship naturally and normally acknowledges this. Thus, this posture of worship towards God is the most normal posture of all. It's an integral part of the relationship. It is its essence and foundation, not because God wants to be exalted, but because He is exalted. He is higher. He is highest. It's just fact. Just like you are not an ant or a cow or a tree, and therefore your characteristics are different than those. Just so, by nature, by makeup, and in fact, God is different than you are. He always has been, and always will be. You go to Him bowed down and in awe because you know this, and because He is so much greater. It can be difficult to fathom why He is interested in you at all. But He is. And the more you come to know Him, the more you realize this. Yet as you recognize more the gap in your being and the being He is, this fact remains that much more incomprehensible. Wonder and gratitude rise up and remain an ever-present, normal condition of relationship with Him. It is part of normal interaction because of who God is and who you are. With increasing realization comes a relief of sorts. You don't have to rely on yourself. You can rely on God. You're supposed to rely on God. So you seek to go ever closer to Him, and the stance is worshipful, naturally, normally, as if to be articulating a fact. It can sound something like this: Lord, you are God, and I am not. I can't believe you who are so wonderful actually care about me. I'm so grateful that you do, even though I cannot fully comprehend it. You are beyond what my human language can describe. Yet the more I seek to know you, the more you do reveal yourself to me, and I see your hand, your power at work in my circumstances and the circumstances of those I love. And you are not just present and acting through what I define as my good times, but also through those times when I am at a loss or encounter pain. You are teaching me to recognize your presence and care even then. Such thoughts, my friend, are worship. Do you recognize it? Talking to God, mulling over what He is showing you, what is being revealed, reveling in it, contemplating and considering Him, listening, being honest with Him about what you are learning and also what you don't understand. Not needing to understand it all, because you have the privilege of being His child and being able to release everything to Him because you trust Him. Risking to honestly open your heart to share with Him what He already knows as God, but longs for you to bring to Him, so He can be the comforter He is and the counselor. Worship. Worship His majesty. It is the most normal response to God of all. Let's finish with a verse of worship that was happening in heaven when St. John was given the gift of visiting there and saw those who had lived before and angels surrounding the throne of God. From the book of Revelation, chapter 5, verses 11 through 13. Then I looked, and I heard the voices of many angels on every side of the throne, and of the living creatures and the elders, of the heavenly Sanhedrin, and they numbered 10,000 times 10,000, and thousands of thousands, saying in a loud voice, "Deserving is the Lamb who is sanctified to receive all the power and riches and wisdom and might, and honor and majesty, glory, splendor, and blessing." And I heard every created thing in heaven and on earth and under the earth and Hades, the place of departed spirits, and on the sea, and all that is in it, crying out together, "To Him who is seated on the throne, and to the Lamb be ascribed the blessing and the honor and the majesty, glory, splendor, and the power, might, and dominion forever and ever, through the eternities of the eternities." Listen to the song, "We Enter Your Throne Room," from the Walk on Water album. Listen to the song repeatedly until it becomes your prayer as you reach and seek to also be spiritually now in the heavenly throne room, worshiping God. You can find the song, "We Enter Your Throne Room," on my YouTube channel, on various streaming services, and always on CD. Thank you for joining in. God Seeker messages are sponsored by Eagle's Nest Foundation. This is Elizabeth Fulgaro. I am praying for you. Until next time, listen to the song, "We Enter Your Throne Room," as a prayer, and keep seeking God.